Hello guys, in today's tutorial what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to show you how to use Python, from the Visual Studio 2012. So basically you can write Python code, you can debug it, and because this tool, very recently I found out that somebody has written a Visual Studio plugin and put that code into the code place. If you guys are not familiar about CodePlace is really cool website for geeks, for people, for .NET people, you know, because there are a lot of open source out there and there's new tools and stuff written by a lot of open source projects is out here. You can find out and before this is really cool website. I definitely suggest you guys to put into your favorites. Anyway, so let me go ahead and explain to you how it really works. So assume you have already Visual Studio 22 already installed in your machine. Let's go ahead and download this guy right here. So basically, well, I have already done. So basically, what you have to do is, let's see, you go ahead and download this guy. Maybe I don't know, somewhere. In my case, I have already downloaded this one right here. This once you download in somewhere in your C drive or any drive that you have, and then basically run this one. Once you run this one, basically what happens is it create kind of like a plugin to this creates a plugin and provide plugin to Visual Studio 2012. It's kind of provides kind of like a template for, like we have templates for different languages, like uh, now even we have template for JavaScript, and we have templates for VB.NET or C# or C++ or whatever. Just like that, it's going to create some template for you once you finish running it. Because I have already installed it, so let me start my Visual Studio. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start Visual Studio, and basically now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead. Remember, once you install this one, it will create a template. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and I'm going to say, well, this is the last time I wrote some code in Python here. So I did all this with that installation. Basically, gives all this template for you, and I'm going to choose, for example, JavaScript is a Python template, and I'm going to choose. I'm going to write a Python application. Simple file reader or something, whatever name you like. Okay, see, so basically in this tutorial what I'm going to do, well, I see the first thing is I'm not really a Python developer. I write Python code as a hobby, because in my I write C# code. That's what I do for a living. I write. But besides writing C# code, I like all different kind of programming languages. I write code in Java, PHP, you name it. I like to write code on it and learn about it. As being a programmer, that's what gives me satisfaction, writing code. You know what I mean? And learning new code every day. Anyway, having said that, I started learning Python very recently, and I realized it has really big potential, because especially, let's say, you have to writing file, reading huge amount of data from files, and for doing a lot of those kind of little things, it's very, very handy. And now you can run your Python code from Visual Studio. You have debugging feature and all those. Who doesn't want to learn it? You know what I mean? So anyway, um, I already done some code, I would like to show that code. And I just want to copy this code here, and I will explain to you what this code does. Here's the Python code that I wrote very recently. Okay, this is the code, and what I'm trying to achieve right here is this. I have this huge amount of I have huge data somewhere. Yeah, this is my this is kind of like, I got this data from like National Weather Service or wherever. They basically provide a free database, free data. It's like huge amount of data, almost like 2 million records in here, and it contains all the different region and their like state name, zip code of the United States, and it has information like latitude and longitude and name of the place and the state. So really good piece of information. So this, and then it's a pipe delimited data. So what I'm trying to achieve here is basically read this file and convert each line, for example each row right here. I'm going to save this information into backend database, maybe SQL Server or MySQL or whatever. And I have already created a SQL Server database corresponding to this data, and now I would like to convert. So basically each row will be converted into insert into a table. All this value will be replaced later at runtime. Okay, to do that, I wrote this exact same code using C#, and then I was thinking, well, how much, because I'm not that good, I don't practice Python all the time. Let me write this code in Python, and how difficult or easy it will be. I was so amazed when I finished writing this one in Python that it was really easy, really easier. Okay, so now remember, this is my Visual Studio. The Python code I'm writing in Visual Studio isn't that cool. It's awesome, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so to do that, I just create a class in Python called FileReader, and this FileReader have a constructor. This is how you define constructor in Python. And then the most important thing to realize is the self is referring to the same object here. You need, even though it's inside you need to pass it as a parameter, because when you are learning Python, some of the things different, and this is the parameter. And this feature I really like it, because like in other languages like VB.NET or C#, whatever, you need to create this one as a private variable right here, around right there. But in here, just you define this in the constructor, and that this class label variable called path is available to all the other methods of this class called FileReader. And this is the file path, means like from where I'm reading that data, basically this location right here. And then this is my template pattern, because remember, like, my goal is to save this data into create an insert statement and later save those data as a batch file or something. So basically create a bunch of insert statements with that into as a output that into a file, and then create the batch file and save it to database. Very common thing that we do all the time in real work, right? And then just like you can have like triple quotes. I just so this having these triple quote will allow you to even though the string is spanning multiple lines, it doesn't complain, and that's where it closes. That's my template. Okay, that's all I have in the constructor. And then after that, I define some method like write file. You guess what this write file method does. It's very simple. Basically, I need to know a name of the file where I would like to write that data, and then what I'm writing is, then I'm also passing the item. So item is nothing, basically one instance, which is this one row. That's the item. Okay, and then I'm opening the file. I mean, like, it's just in Python. I mean, even though I'm .NET developer, I love Python really much, because you can just open the Python file just like that. And this is important because here I'm saying I'm appending to the file, because otherwise, if you do like read or write, if you do R here or W here, what happens is, like, I have to open it so many times. It once open, close it, open and remove, because like every time you write again, it will be overwritten. That this A keyword right here, it appends to the previously existing data, which is really, that's what we need. And then once we have a reference to this variable, I can write a write method and pass the item to write. That's it. And then finally, once it's been written to the file, I just close it. That is that. And of course, now I have to create this script, right? Create insert script in here. And this method right here takes the item as a parameter, and then so because like I said, this is important because I know there is a 20. So basically what I have done is there is like 20 fields in each record, because when I split that using this pipe delimiter